Hello, greetings and salutations. Welcome back to the BFC. I hope you guys are having a great week. Listen, I got a couple private messages from some of you guys. So let's just get this out of the way. Yes, we know Monday Night Football was Bills versus Jets, and some of you sent your condolences. So why don't we relive that moment together just to be a little bit miserable? Or maybe some of you are cheering me on. Rob, just let's get this over with. I'll own this right now. That's fine.
Sam Martin corrals the snap. It's a short punt. Gibson on the return. Near side. I don't see any flags. Gibson inside the 30. Hits the Jets. And he's going to go. Jets win it. Touchdown. Rookie Xavier Gibson. Game over.
Yeah, that game sucked real bad. I just want to say it. And hopefully this season gets better and Josh Allen gets his shit together. But you know what? I respect Josh Allen. It's one game. We have 16 games to go. Kudos to the Jets defense. He gave it to us hard. And that's it. That's how it works. But that's usually how it works on primetime when you're the Bills. You know, I hate to say it, but sometimes, most of the time, that's sort of how it works out. They got real Billsy, as we would say. Real Billsy. So yes, and I'm looking forward to the Raiders game on Sunday. So hopefully that will be, you know, a different game. It is a different game. It's going to be hopefully a different outcome, and we're going to move forward with our Bills season. So I hope you guys enjoyed that Jets Bills game, and for those of you that did send condolences, thank you very much. I appreciate it. So yeah, let's see who's in the chat. We got Dino, Lisa Matthews, Ronnie Replay. I'm not an IGPK, but I'm here for UBFC. And you know what? Hey, maybe at the end of this video, you will be an IGPK. Who knows? So thank you very much. Doug's in the house. You know, great to have you guys. Skylink, Gary, Don, Kelly. It's great to have you guys. So, you know, great to be here. You know, I'm scrolling down the comments and I haven't looked. Oh, Tactical Reviews. There he is. Great to have you here, man. Wayward. Yeah, the Browns won. Brad, yeah, congratulations to your Browns. That was a good game. Skylink. Gene's great. He responded to me on Twitter about name change. He's a very cool guy. Hey, to tell you what, he's one of my favorite guests. So, you know, it's really, you know, I also want to reach out to you guys and tell you guys something. And I want you to really understand this. You know, doing this YouTube thing, it's been great, but I would not be where I'm at right now if it wasn't for my producer, Rob. And so this is what I want you to do. And if you could do this, this would be absolutely awesome. You know, because I want to show my appreciation for Rob. Hit the special thanks. Anything you guys will donate today, because this guy has helped me out for literally nothing. Hit the special thanks. Anything you guys donate, I will literally give to producer Rob. So make it happen. This guy worked his ass off. Like, honestly, the guy put in like 12 hours worth of work in the last like week for me, just helping me like gather information, do renderings of videos, which you're going to see tonight, and they're pretty badass. He does an amazing job. So please get some special thanks in there so I could tip the man. So yeah, it's great to have you guys here. I want to get into the whole tour of the cannabis distillate facility. It's pretty awesome. I actually put a link in there. I put a link in the chat, basically about the distillate process and how it's created. So check that out and just read through it. It's a very short article. You can educate yourself on the process. But before we get into this, and we bring in Gene and Tom, who operates the facility, I want you guys to check out this video. But before we do, guys, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, share this video, and give Rob some special thanks. Rob, let's play this video. Check it out. Gene and Tom, welcome to Buffalo Fireside Chats. How you guys doing today?
All good, buddy. It's always good to see you. Hey, Tom.
Hey guys, how's it going? Thanks for having us.
Hey, this is Tom's it's his maiden voyage on the BFC. So I want to get into a lot here, and you're going to actually do a walkthrough of the facility momentarily. But Tom, could you tell us a little bit just about the process itself? Like, how did you get involved in doing this and be able to manage all this? This is some very intricate stuff. So take it away. Just tell us a little bit about your experience.
Sure. God, great question. I'll keep it on the positive version. Actually, you know what? My mom got diagnosed with cancer about 7 years ago. Went through chemo, radiation, the standard gamut, and everything they gave her to kind of assist with all the side effects. Nothing worked. So reached out to a couple friends, and literally that's the short version of what got me into the cannabis world.
Wow. That's absolutely crazy. And you know what? That's not the first time I've heard that. We hear about these things all the time. And so there are medicinal ways that we can improve our standard of living. And you know what? I know people that have had surgeries and that have been in similar situations that this has absolutely helped them. So that's crazy. Now let me just get through this because I want to get to the tour, but I also want to go through each of the devices that we sort of saw in that video.
Sure.
Rob did a great job putting that video together. So let's you know the numbers of these files. You and Rob talked. So I would just like to go through, and if you could just like sort of talk about before we get started, what type of distillate, what type of process is this? Just so you guys know, there's multiple processes of distillation. There's short path distillation, thin film distillation, rotary evaporation, white film evaporation. So what do you guys use?
So we use actually something a little different than all the ones you just mentioned. We use a rolling film separator, which is similar to a thin wipe, but instead of wiper blades, we actually use small rollers, and that allows a clearer pass on the first shot.
Is it a way the rollers extracts it that's more efficient?
It's all heat and gravity.
Really? Interesting. Cool. All right. So now, do you have those numbers of those files pulled up of those pictures? Are you familiar with them? Or should he just pull them up just so you could?
Yeah, if you pull them up, I can explain.
Yeah, let's do that. So tell us what these things are. If you want to pull up, I don't know, whatever slide you want.
Sure. Well, as I'm looking, as everybody else is, that's not a fancy machine. That's somebody's hand. That's what we do. So that's basically step 2 of bringing it in. So we bring in biomass. We ground it down to that fine powder kind of like substance there. That's going into a micron bag, and that bag is then placed into a freezer for 24 hours. Then it's placed into our ethanol extractors, which is a glorified washing machine.
And that's just the flour, correct? That's the
Correct.
flour. Okay. All right. What's this apparatus here?
That is just the control box for our ethanol freezer. So everything that we extract is done at negative 50 Celsius. And what that machine right there does is actually takes our room temperature ethanol, sends it up to the roof to a chilling condenser, and it returns it in about 8 minutes to negative 50 degrees.
Wow.
Looking
at the extraction processes, because I was reading about it, it seems that they go to high heat first. Is that standard to cool it before you heat it? I think I lost
him. I hope we didn't lose him.
No. Is it standard to cool it? Oh, it's the mute.
Can you guys hear me now? Sorry about that.
So I don't know if you heard the question or not.
I did not. I apologize. I'm doing this on my phone, and obviously it keeps ringing and texting and everything else.
Yeah, so. Right on, man. Hey, look, I'm on YouTube.
There you go.
But seriously, is it normal to chill it before you heat it? Is that like a standard process?
Absolutely.
Okay. See that? I don't think that was in the article. I just skimmed it. They didn't mention that. Yep. So
what that'll do is it'll expand the trichomes that are on the actual plant matter itself and allows for easier removal in the extraction process.
Right on. All right. What is this thing?
That is actually the vessel that holds our chilled ethanol.
That's the chiller. What do we got here?
That is basically just a filtration system. So that's after it's been through the ethanol wash. What that'll do is that'll pull out any kind of non-essential cannabinoids, mostly chlorophyll.
All right, and then after that, if I gather my reading correctly, and I did my DD right, after the ethanol, that's when you start the distillation process, correct?
We remove the ethanol prior to that. So what
Okay.
happens there is that machine you just had up on the screen,
Yep.
that'll actually remove about 90% of the solvent. And then from there, we put that into a large decarb reactor that removes all the CO2 molecules from the plant matter and the oil.
I gotta
And
say,
then we go into distillation.
I gotta say, like, just like I never thought that this process, when I was looking through it, I was like, this is moonshine, and with the heads and tails and the whole process, I'm like, the fact that they've applied this to marijuana or cannabis in general is really awesome. And like, just like, obviously, kids, if you're home, don't do keg stands with this stuff. It's it's the truth. But I was really like baffled and sort of amazed at the process that has come from this. So it's sort of like applying the moonshine process to cannabis. But what is this thing?
That is the solvent recovery I was just referring to. So that'll remove about 90% of the ethanol out of the tincture.
Right on. And this thing, you could just go as they change on there. You could just tell me what's up.
Same machine, just the other side of it. These are all pretty enormous pieces of equipment that we have in here. Same thing. That's the filtration system right there. It's helping to trap the second round of chlorophyll out of the tincture, and that is basically the tincture kind of going up into the filtration system, and that's all basically just done with heat and pressure. And that's the actual tincture itself coming back down into an empty keg, and that has about 90% of the ethanol already removed.
So that is 10% right there.
Yep, and
Highly
that is
concentrated.
correct. And next we have our decarboxylation reactor. And again, what that's doing is
Whoa, say that again. Say that again.
decarboxylation. Decarboxylation reactor.
Decarboxylation reactor.
Just don't ask me to spell it.
Yeah, it sounds like it should be like attached to the Starlink or the SpaceX ship.
And that's the other half of that same unit, that decarb reactor. We'll use the short terms for it. And what that's doing is that's removing the additional 10% ethanol out of that tincture as well, and also removing the CO2 molecules.
Right on.
And that is the first step in the distillation process. So there's 3 phases to it. First one is to remove any volatiles, mainly terpenes that are left inside the distillate. Cannabis terpenes, although they're valuable, flavorful, once they've been introduced to ethanol, they are of no value. They become very hazardous, extremely flammable. So that is the first pass in the process, is to remove those.
And that would be the heads, correct?
Correct.
That's the heads. So for all you moonshine fans out there.
And that is our rolling film system right there. And again, what you're seeing on the left there is that non-essential terpenes being removed. That would be in that little white or clear ball on the bottom with the brown gunk coming out. And everything over to the right, that is basically crude oil waiting for its second and third pass to be turned into distillate.
Wow.
And that would be one of our feed tanks. So that's where we're basically pouring all that black crude oil into. And what that's going to do is that's going to basically just heat up and then spin down and feed itself into those rolling films.
Cool.
Finished product.
Ta-da.
Jar of honey.
Wow. Now,
used in everything and anything.
Well, let me ask you, Rob, go back to that one. All right. So let's just say that container right there. What that distillate right there? What could that supply? Like how much money is that worth right now? Just out of curiosity.
Look, scary question these days. Could it bounces all over. Right there is probably about $4,500.
Wow, unbelievable. And that's used in all kinds of products. Like, is it they use it in
everything.
suckers, like the cookies, all the stuff that you get at the storefront. So you guys are basically supplying the suppliers.
Correct.
That's unbelievable. Listen, I want, and that was the last picture, I think. If you guys, what is this thing?
That is one of our. That's actually a customized vaporizer cart filling machine. We have many fillers, but that one actually was designed for a specific client's cart that we fill.
Cool. What I want to do, and I'm going to have you walk through the facility and sort of show everybody what we've seen through pictures, and just sort of give everybody a look. But guys, I want you to ask some questions. Ask some questions for Tom here, because this is like a nice opportunity. We don't always get this opportunity to go in facilities and ask questions. You know, when people talk about doing due diligence online in the companies and this, that, and the other, this is due diligence. So make sure you get your questions in. Actually, Skylink has a question. How much liters can you get in a 24-hour period?
Well, being that we don't work 24 hours, we could produce right now approximately 45 liters per day in an 8-hour shift.
Okay, hold up. So let's do the math. All right. You got 45. Yeah, right.
This gets exciting.
I know, CEO Gene has definitely done the math. So you have 45 liters in 8 hours. All right. So per day, you're producing about, $30,000 to $40,000 worth of distillate, give or take.
Correct.
That's probably on the low end.
Absolutely.
So that is a kick-ass number. Now, obviously, there's operational costs and this, that, and the other. We all know that. But when you're working with that, right now you have one machine. Are you doing a second machine?
We have multiple machines on different areas. We are adding a separate rolling film distillation machine in there, so that will literally double the output.
That's good. See, I'm a shareholder, so I could get very excited about that. And yeah, just as disclosure, I more than up my position 200%. So yeah, whatever. So I'm very, very happy with that, especially, and we've talked the stock side, and actually we're going to talk a little bit more about that in a bit. But what I want you to do is go through the facility. If you just want to show everybody around real quick, and
sure.
We'll just take a look, guys. Let's we'll do some questions when you get back.
And being it is 5:30 in the day, we're kind of just obviously we're wrapping up here, but we still have a couple things running. Of course, never ends. So this would be our secured delivery room. This is basically where we intake all of our material daily. This is also where we dispose of our material. So this is basically what we ran through today. It's a little over 2,000 pounds. And this will
when they talk about getting all stems and seeds, all right.
we don't. That doesn't.
No more
exist,
seeds.
No, haven't seen those in a while unless you're buying them.
Right.
And this will be picked up tomorrow by cannabis waste. So everything has to be disposed of properly, so it no longer looks or smells like cannabis. Wow. This is just our fulfillment room. This is where we come in and actually fill up all those little bags that we had on camera. So we're done for the day. Room's empty. Everything's just rinse and repeat around here. And this is our actual facility. Sorry, again, I'm walking around with my phone.
Wow.
So give you an idea. So we do multiple forms of extraction there. I don't want to interrupt the operators in there, but I could probably zoom in over there. So basically, this is where we do type 7 butane extraction. Hence why I'm going to leave the door shut and all the fancy warnings on there. Basically, just a different end product rather than distillation. And as I walk through and try not to be too obnoxious to anybody else working in here. So
Come on, you can be obnoxious.
Yeah, exactly. So these are ethanol extractors. So kind of like what I was saying, it's a glorified washing machine. So basically what happens here is we fill these up with those micron bags. Each bag holds approximately 14 pounds of cannabis. And then we'll close this valve. We'll use nitrogen to push the ethanol in there. And again, that's the negative 50 degrees ethanol that we're pushing in. And what it'll do is basically just essentially wash all of the cannabinoids off the plant matter, and it'll leave a tincture. The tincture will go right back into these kegs right here. And what we'll do is each one of these will run about 3 bags. Each run is approximately 18 minutes. So we run 2 of these at one time. And we go over to, step 2 out of 20 over here. So once that comes out of the keg full of tincture, this is the fancy filtration system we were talking about. So this will run about 30 gallons every 15 minutes. And again, these are just paper micron filters that we're using to primarily catch any of the chlorophyll in the plant. And that's what allows that, that end product to be a very clear honey-like material. Step 3, this is the machine I was telling you, multiple pictures because of the size. So this is basically called a falling film evaporator. And what this will do is this will remove about 90% of that tincture. or the ethanol out of the tincture, I might say. This will do about 60 gallons per hour.
Wow.
And I did skip
Wow.
one step. Sorry about that. This is the actual ethanol chiller that we were going through earlier in your pictures. So again, we'll fill this up. That'll hold about 45 gallons. It will shoot it up to the roof. It will go into the big fancy condensing unit that we have up there. And it will basically chill that ethanol down to about -50. It'll return it right here. And then it allows us to fill up all these fancy kegs, slide them across, and start extracting.
Wow.
So again, once we come out of the solvent recovery, then we'll go into over here. Again, this is the fancy decarboxylation reactor that I can't spell. We'll run this at it'll get to a certain temperature. This removes all those CO2 molecules. Any remaining tincture will be collected over in this vessel right here. Again, collected back into these kegs, which come in pretty handy. And then from there, that's when we go over to the final stage, which is distillation.
The fun part.
Not as easy as you think. And this is basically one of our guys playing on his phone. He got caught on live TV, but it's all good. And this is that rolling film distillation we were talking about earlier. Sorry, I'm trying to kind of do this backwards with the phone. But again, there's your feed tank. That's going to hold your crude oil. So we do 3 passes on this. And again, I was mentioning that first pass is going to take all those volatiles and terpenes out. The second pass we refer to as a hard cut. And where am I? There we go. So this is what we're doing right now is basically a hard cut of that. So once this is complete, we'll take this bin along with all the others and we'll rerun it for a final pass. And this is all cooled with liquid nitrogen. That's the only way you can cool such a system as this. So this is continuously being refilled.
So could you just remind, like, why again? Do you have to rerun it through again?
You want to rerun it through for color and also for potency.
Okay.
So what that'll do is that'll leave you with, everything will always be in the mid to upper 90s.
Got it.
As you can see, this is basically Mr. Paul reloading more crude into there right now.
Nah,
and again,
cool.
and then the absolute final step would be, our fancy cartridge filling machines.
Wow. How big are the cartridges that you guys, when you sell them, when you deliver them? Do they have different options?
Tons, never ending. We'd have to expand your show to talk about them all.
Wow.
Standard is a 110, a 1 gram, either disposable or a regular glass cart, like a 510 thread that will screw onto a battery.
Wow.
Yeah, in a nutshell, this is pretty much, this is us.
Wow. That is a tremendous operation. So when people are talking about cannabis distillate, it's not a bunch of dudes hanging out in their mom's basement. Just
unfortunately not.
They're working hard. This is science. And they got the Ramones playing in the background. So I like it already. Wow. This is great. A couple people, guys, if you have any questions, put them on right now. Actually, Lisa Matthews had a question. Where do they get the product from? Do you have contracts with local growers? And how many pounds per day are you accepting for processing? Great question.
Yeah, no, great question. So actually, we work with several farms all over the state. And what we do is we primarily do toll splitting with the farms. So, say they give us 10,000 pounds of biomass, we'll take that, we'll run into distillate. We'll keep half, we'll give them their other half back. Right now, again, we're processing a little over 2,000 pounds a day. We do accept new farms on, but we are pretty backlogged. So unfortunately, if another farm wanted to come on, you're probably 3 to 4 months out before we could actually get to your material.
Wow. So
good problem to have, but still a problem.
You're booked for 3 to 4 months, essentially.
Easily.
It's a good business.
It's a good business. Do the math, guys. That's great. Queen West. Hello, my fellow Americans. Greetings from Calgary, Alberta, Canada. Well, greetings to you too. What else do we got? Let's post some questions here, guys. What is the profit per liter produced?
Good question. I would say on average, depending on where the market is, on the low end, $600 a liter, upwards of $1,800. Now,
that just recently increased, correct? Like there's been a surge in the price of distillate.
Yes.
like big time.
Yes.
What is driving that? I mean, is it just the fact that there's a crap ton of dispensaries opening up and product finishers opening up?
Unfortunately, there's not enough dispensaries opening up. That's probably the biggest challenge that we have in
Wow.
California, believe it or not. But that is an issue, that there are not enough retailers open in the state.
I work in an area that has 22 distributors within 2 to 4 square miles.
Sure, I believe it.
It's crazy.
But really, pricing all depends on, if other manufacturers fail to, basically make ends meet, they exit the space. New product lines come on. There's a million different factors that go into that, that varying price point.
Cody says that's an excellent problem they have. Love knowing the amount they're doing. And I got to say, like, and this is the crazy thing, and this is sort of mind-blowing. And we're going to get into some other good news, by the way, because if you guys didn't know, they just put out a PR, and we're going to get into that PR in a second. And Tom, I want to say thank you very much, by the way. I'm not kicking you out yet. That's for sure. But
Thanks,
no,
Tom.
dude, this is unbelievable. Like, this is it's great to see this facility in action, and at this point in the OTC, and I'm not joking, and this is why we do firsthand due diligence here. And I swear to God, I'm going to scream it. You've got to reach out to companies. You've got to check with people. There are tons of opportunities. You could buy open market. You could buy private. When people are like spitting out crap nonstop online about, it's a scam, this and that and the other. You know what? I can tell you right now, Gene, and it's great to see Tom, by the way, too. I see very good people that are being very transparent and very excited to show their business and whatnot. And especially Tom telling me the story about your mother, and what drove that. Of course, that was a short version of that story. To see you drive like this, obviously it's a passion, and obviously you have a reason for doing what you're doing. And so that's amazing. So this is why we do firsthand due diligence. This is what you're always going to find on the BFC. And this is what I'm going to continue to bring, and you're not going to find it anywhere else, and that's just a fact. So, Tom, thank you for that. But sit tight, because I'm sure people are going to have questions. But I want to get into this PR, But first, Rob put together a real kick-ass video, just a little snippet to share with you guys news if you haven't seen it already. So, Rob, hit it. Let's get to this PR, guys. I'm going to read this straight through for you. Right. Integrated Cannabis Solutions announces acquisition of the Tahoe Group and expansion to the East Coast. All right. This strategic addition empowers Houdini Group to enter the delivery sector, providing a virtual store experience with the cost efficiency of a traditional retail model. Furthermore, Genesis Distribution, recognized for its exceptional service, ensures secure and prompt delivery of cannabis products to licensed brick-and-mortar retailers throughout California. Our distribution license grants us end-to-end control over the manufacturing process, eliminating intermediaries. The light manufacturing license enables the production of a variety of infused products such as edibles, popcorn, and bath bombs. The addition of the Tahoe Group is a significant milestone for Houdini Group, said Gene Kaizo, CEO of Integrated Cannabis, who's with us tonight, of course. This acquisition rounds out our presence in the California cannabis market and positions us for continued growth in the years to come. In an exciting development, Houdini Group is expanding its operations to the East Coast, establishing a state-of-the-art manufacturing facility in Florida. This facility will have the capacity to produce both THC and CBD products, and we will be relocating equipment from California to support this expansion. We are excited to expand our business to the East Coast, said Kaezo. This is a growing market with a lot of potential. We believe that our vertically integrated business model and our experience in the California market will give us a competitive advantage in the East Coast market. Houdini Group Incorporated is a leading vertically integrated cannabis operator with operations in California and Florida. The company is committed to providing high-quality cannabis products to its customers and is focused on expanding its business in both the California and East Coast markets. So that's a pretty meaty PR. So you guys are going East Coast. Gene, tell us more about this. Go.
Well, we're looking. In fact, I've already looked at space because it would make sense for me to put Consolidated and this into the same location so I can keep my eyes on it on a day-to-day basis. By doing this and entering into CBD also, it'll give us worldwide capability. We can ship that anywhere in the world. We're excited about it. It does what we like to do, which is vertically integrate ourselves. You know, it allows Tom transportation everywhere. We get to control our own transportation, which is a tricky part of the business.
Yeah, right on. I mean, like you're talking about literally doubling your output, an output that literally, I know literally, I'm going to say that's the Jord word. By the way, Jord's going to be joining us later. Doubling it. And if you look at the numbers
it's staggering.
It's staggering. Like I'm trying to wrap my brain around it. So what are, if you could elaborate a little bit, what are some of your projections, going forward into quarter three? I know you guys had a solid quarter two. We're closing quarter three into quarter four and quarter one of next year. What are you thinking? What's on your mind right now?
I mean, what's on my mind is to dumb down the numbers a little bit because they're mind-boggling. And I'm really trying to get my arms around the numbers that are that staggering. Add to that the brand license, which I spoke to you about the other day. That's going back and forth with the attorneys. Just a few words need to be changed. So hopefully in the coming days, you'll hear that. That'll be something that adds a whole nother layer to this thing. I don't even want to give you projections yet. Yeah. It's not how much can you make. It's how much can you reliably produce, because the sky's the limit. It's not it's a question of supply. Tom will tell you as fast as you can. Also, hey, Tom, that big thing, the big jar you were holding full of distillate.
Sure.
That was give or take $4,500 worth of distillate.
Correct.
Now, I want to be clear. That's not profit. That's just what that would sell for.
Oh, yeah.
That's correct.
Okay, just want to make sure. A lot of people automatically think you're making $4,500 off of everything like that.
Yes, and on this channel we have discussed the difference between revenue and net profit.
Those are dramatically different.
But you know what? Companies that have that high revenue, that's what we're looking for. Like I do look at revs. Obviously you want your net profit.
Cash flow matters.
It does. Your in and out matters absolutely. And when you limit liabilities, when you increase revenues, it gives you a better chance to retain higher net profits. So the potential's there. Could you imagine if safe banking gets under control and that whole thing lines up? Where do you see you guys positioning yourself? And I'm just throwing this question out there. If they do legalize it straight across the board and leave it to states, which most states will, and a lot of states are, how do you see integrated diving into that?
I think we'd wait for one of the big cigarette manufacturers to write us a magically enormous check.
Have you thought about it? Have you had any targets?
You can't think about it. You can't, because then you just go and go. It gets bigger and bigger and huge. I mean,
would you need enormous. A special license for that?
What, for federal?
Yeah, no,
there will.
Well, so basically, I'm just one. I don't know. Like everything's speculative now because they haven't passed it federally yet. So they're dragging their feet, and it's always back and forth when they very well could. We all know that they don't really serve us; they serve themselves up east.
I mean, they've got to be looking at the revenue stream, going, "Why aren't we?"
It blows my mind. It blows my mind because Imagine the taxes they could get from us. You know, it's just crazy. You know, it really is. And so, you know, when Tom's talking about those numbers, when you guys are talking about those numbers, that's freaking huge. And so
It's monstrous. I want to go back to that jar again. How many liters were in that jar, do you think?
It's about 3 liters.
oh wow,
Okay.
wow,
I just wanted to be clear. You know, from the jar like that, it could have been anything.
Yeah, absolutely.
that's like a 2-year supply of fun right there. I don't know.
3,000
but we never get you to do the show.
Right? I'd be sleeping in the corner.
Where's Eric? I don't know.
Hey, where'd he go? Then Rob would have to jump on here, or Jordan. But no, that's remarkable. So, and this is what I'm looking for, and this is just my personal opinion. This is not financial advice. I'm going to say this: if you're doing this now, and there's not like, there's a lot of storefronts now. There's not a lot of guys doing what you do, even though there are. I mean, there are, but like, there's not distilleries, you know, every corner. You know, there's not. And like Tom was saying, what you need is more business, because you can supply for every single state if given the capabilities, especially now that you're doubling your operation. You know, but you know, I think about this, and like I said, not financial advice. This is just my opinion. When you see companies like this expanding, when you see companies like this having revenue potentials that are in the tens of millions of dollars, I mean, the sky is the limit. And I know that you've used that term before, Gene, talking with you privately. The sky is the limit. Here, so
It's the Wild West, baby.
it is. It is. It's amazing. And I honestly hope that I want you guys to be successful. Not just because I'm a shareholder, but Gene, I've come to know you pretty well. And I'd like to see good people succeed. I do. That's what this is all about.
We're trying, you know. No one gets out alive. You might as well have some fun while you're here and make it happen.
That's right. We have a couple extra questions. John Don, do you ship worldwide or only the U.S.?
Tom, you want to grab that, or you want me to?
Only inside the state of California. That's it.
Right. Houdini will allow us to change that.
Yep. And that is because, and I had a call
Tahoe, rather,
with Guillermo Rodriguez, and we talked about basically the fact that you can't ship in between Oregon and Washington and California. It's insane that they haven't had an interstate deal, you know, at this point. It's just mind-blowing that they can't do it properly to where you guys can get the product. It's just,
you use the word interstate. Who owns the interstates? Federal government.
Yeah. That's the lockup. Here, Michael Singleton has a question. When do you think the name change will be complete? I know you talked a little bit about that last time.
No. There's, I think it takes about. We've reserved a new name in Nevada. New council will be filing with FINRA in the coming weeks, and I believe from filing it takes approximately 6 weeks to happen.
Are you prepared
after the full, and that's after the full review?
Are you prepared to, go through hell and high water? Because we all know, and I've talked to people on the show, many CEOs, many companies, where FINRA can be a complete pain in the ass when it comes to a name change. Are you prepared to fork over all past filings and all the crap from like before you guys were even involved in IGPK?
We've already got it. It's already put together. And as big of a pain in the ass as they can be, we can be a big pain in the ass too. You just got to stay. No, you got to stay on them too.
Yeah,
it's the squeaky wheel. You got to they terrorize you. You got to terrorize them.
That's right. The squeaky wheel gets the grease. It's true. OTC Forever, one of my favorite subscribers. Been following a long time, and he has some pretty funny posts on the Twitter, so give him a check. With IGPK acquiring other companies, what other sectors does Gene foresee the company expanding to in the next 5 years? And I could say one is AI. So
bingo. That's and we'll see what comes around. But staying in the sector of cannabis and apparel, once again, you've noticed today what Tom's done. The sky's the limit in just cannabis. As far as apparel goes, we'll probably expand the apparel business, and we'll dabble in others such as AI. and AI is moving along. It's what I told you. They've already got products in development and products that are being used. So we'll see where that all goes. But right now, I would say any industry is open. The only reason AI is just so interesting at this point, but any other industry, I would like to think, should be tailored to Tom's world and my world, apparel and cannabis. How does it help it?
Apparel and cannabis. Yeah, I'm excited to hear, in the future how you guys come along with that AI acquisition. And obviously, I know there's only so much you can tell me now because you're in sort of the preliminary stages of this acquisition. But it's going to be exciting. You guys are building like a little mini conglomerate, and it's pretty cool. Yeah,
It is. It's really cool.
It really is.
And everybody remembers PayPal, Google, and Apple. Why couldn't it be, Tom and Gene and Igpk and all of that?
Well, I think you got a kick-ass operation going on there in California. It really is cool.
And it's scalable, right, Tom? I mean, reasonably
Absolutely.
scalable.
Yeah, 100%.
I would like at some point, and I'm just going to say this right now, I have a couple other people in the cannabis industry, one of which is going to hopefully be on the show in the next month or so. But I want to do a cannabis roundtable, basically talking about not just the products and the process, in which, Tom, I'd love to have you on for that. I think it'd be really awesome. But to talk about like the potential that lies ahead, if there is a federal legalization. And it's great to speculate because eventually I think it's going to get done. Somebody's going to come along and it's going to get done. And you guys are positioning yourself. You're positioning yourself now to succeed by expanding to the East Coast. But, I want to have a roundtable. So you guys are definitely going to be invited to that. And we're going to talk about the industry. We're going to talk about how it's going to impact people. We're going to talk about the law behind it, or the lack of law behind it, I guess we could say. So I hope you guys join me for that in the next month or so. Door is always open.
That'd be great.
All right, bud.
So that's all I got for you guys.
That's all I got.
I want to thank you, Tom. Thank you so much for the tour and your expertise and sharing your story. And I really
Tom,
appreciate
it's
it.
awesome.
Anytime.
What you've
Thanks
done
for
out
having
there
me.
is amazing.
Absolutely
Appreciate
great.
it.
Gene, great to see you.
Yeah, we're going to need to touch base again in 3 or 4 weeks. Things are moving fast.
Oh, man.
Man.
That's great. All right, Gene, Tom, great to see you. I hope you had a great time. We'll see you. Get these guys out of here. Get them out of here.
I've had enough.
Get them out of here. Oh, that's always a pleasure. Man, I'm telling you, I really enjoy having those guys on. Doesn't get old with Gene, and that guy is kicking some ass. So, all right, listen, the show's over, but it's not, because I want to finish by talking ILUS and just let's bring him in. Jord Haga. Jord, how you doing?
I'm doing excellent. How are you doing, E-Rock and BSC community?
I'm not happy with you. I'm gonna gripe. The fact that you had the balls to buy restricted shares of ILUS, disgusting. You disgust me. How dare you invest? So yeah, there's a lot of heat. There's a lot of heat on you regarding your purchase of shares. And listen, everybody isn't in your position, doesn't have that ability. We all know that. I'm not one of those. I'm one of those people too. But why we're here? Why are we doing what we're doing? Why are we doing what we're doing? To invest, and double down on the investments that we really care about, that we believe in, that we think are going to be successful. And that's why we're doing this. So tell me a little bit about where you are at now. I know you've gotten a lot of praise. Actually, you've gotten a lot of thank yous, I should say, for opening this opportunity up for other people that are very serious about, doubling down on their investment. But what is your overall thought in regards to, the placement that you made, and just talk to the people about it, because I think it's great.
Sure, thanks. So I think a big part of it is I really just wanted to help the company. I mean, that's our starting point. But I think that the main takeaway for why I did make the investment and why I felt comfortable making the investment is having seen them follow through with all of the steps and all of the procedural things that they are required to do to get QI&D to uplist. And because I've been following the company for 2 years and tracking what they've said, even though they miss timelines and we all wish that, they would stop announcing when they're going to drop things and just drop them, that if you look at their success rate for what they've said they were going to do, with the exception of a few companies that just didn't pass their due diligence, they've accomplished all of it. And so once I saw them able to procure that $2 million loan at the favorable interest rates, I felt very comfortable, and I thought, because the share price also happened to be down, that it would be in my best interest, the company's best interest, and all of my future deals that I make. Because again, like you were saying, we've never done this before. This idea was brought to me by Brett Rose and Nick Coriano from 3DX. And so because Ilis was wonderful enough to allow me to make that private placement, like I said, I was able to give them, and that is Ilis, directly money, because a lot of common shareholders might not know that when you buy stock on the open market, it is in no way benefiting the company. They do not receive that money. We're just people trading it back and forth.
Yep. And, I listen, guys, we're launching BFC Capital Group. All right. So, we're going to bring people along with us that are interested in investing in these opportunities, private investments. And, Jordan and I, like I said, we're dipping our toe in the water a little bit, but we're really not. Him and I are diving right in, and what we plan on building over the next year is going to be substantial. And you guys who have been here and watching since day one, it's going to be pretty cool to see this coming to fruition, because he and I never saw this coming, but this is just sort of how we've grown as investors, and our thought processes sort of developed. So I'm excited to have those opportunities, and for those that are very serious about investing and want to put money into a startup. And we're not talking necessarily about $50,000 or $100,000, but working as a group to find potential startups and companies that we can invest in privately and get a discount share deal, and sort of, have safer plays in the OTC. Now, don't get me wrong. I have open shares out of open market of stuff. I sold some stock the other day and took some profit, took it to somewhere else, because that is fun. That's the fun of why we got involved with this in the first place. Let's be real. That was the thrill of it. But now we have that thrill, but now we have the knowledge to be even more successful. And that's what I want to bring you guys. And listen, like I said, this isn't financial advice. So I just want to bring you guys the knowledge and the people that have the experience doing these things, so you guys can do these things as well. So if you haven't already, join the BFC Discord. We're just getting cooking there. Rob, Jordan, and I, we are just getting going. So you're going to want to get in the Discord. If you have a friend that's, serious about trading or investing, and has a couple bucks that they want to invest, I'm not telling you to you don't want to trade your rent. You don't want to invest your rent, but if you have people that have money that are looking to invest, we're looking to build something substantial, and looking to build each other up and really build that BFC group. So obviously we're not taking everybody, but I want you guys to, because it's not for everybody, but this Discord isn't just about the private investment. That's not just what this is about. This is about all the investments that I've talked about, the tickers that I've talked about: CGRA, IGPK, ILIS, QI&D, DRCR. I mean, the list goes on. I've covered a bunch of them. I'm not a stock channel. Remember when I said that? Okay, whatever. I sort of caved, but final thoughts, Jordan, on if you want to plug the Discord, your thoughts on where you think it's going to go, and give these guys a reason to join the Discord, for crying out loud.
Yeah, well, again, shout out to the BFC Discord and the ILIS Discord. That my takeaway is this: businesses, although more complex, function very much like people. They will continue into the future doing what they do as long as they have the money to pay the people to show up. So one of the biggest criteria whenever you're evaluating a company, especially in difficult macro times, higher interest rates, when other companies are being delisted and filing bankruptcies in record numbers, is you want to have a strong balance sheet. You want to make sure that you're going to have money to be able to survive the tough times, because obviously it'll be easier to thrive in the better times.
Mm-hmm.
With ILIS, doing exactly that because they don't have access to the liquidity. They don't have access to the financing that they require to fully enact their plans on the OTC. That they are now, as far as I'm concerned, following all the steps and procedures that you would have to do, to my knowledge, and then of course to all the great work that Egal and Fred Z, AG and Austin and other people do, with these analyses, that they are just a few steps away from doing the uplist. And my understanding, or as I call it, the financial umbilical cord, that's going to allow them access to cheaper rates of borrowing and also larger amounts of borrowing. And it's going to increase the liquidity so that we can't have our stock price manipulated by $2,500. Everything will go up exponentially, where it's not to say that we can't be exploited by naked shares or short attacks. Those things still exist. They're just many times more difficult to accomplish when liquidity becomes high enough.
Right on. Right on. That's my go-to phrase, but I agree with you. Absolutely. Doubling down, man. That's where we're at, and that's what we're going to do, and we're going to continue to build and grow, and I can't wait to be at that third annual shareholder meeting with you and hanging out, and it's going to be fun. It's going to be a fun time, and hopefully there's going to be tons to talk about, so, but the big question is, where is it going to be this time? I won the bet last time. I did say Florida last time. Just saying,
Yeah, it's a tough one.
Let's do it right now. Let's do it right here, right now. All right. Where do you
what's
think?
the guess?
Yeah, where's it going to be? I'll give you mine. You give me yours.
I think that it's going to be in Europe.
Really?
Yep.
Okay. Damn.
I think Vegas was inaugural, right? And then they have to go Florida because that just was due to proximity of the investors that they were trying to get. Assuming that those investors have been procured, then I think the next place they're going to go is either Europe or Asia. And since I think we have more assets in Europe, then I think Europe would be the next logical place.
All right. Damn. Okay. Interesting. Like Northwest Europe, like England.
Again, it could be. I mean, there's a multitude of places. It really just depends. But I don't see England necessarily being out of the picture, right? With all the connections that they have there. I think that it really just would depend on that behind the scenes location of the people that they were, trying to get there, because you want to make the trip as pleasant as possible for the people you're trying to sway.
All right. I'm going to say it's going to be Florida or the Caribbean or like somewhere in that area. And the reason why, and this is my rationale, I think it's going to be Florida again because of the ERT connection and the acquisition that's going to be out there. And it's going to give us a chance to possibly tour facilities. That's my guess. That's my guess.
Yeah, so, I gotta throw the.
What are we betting? What are we betting? That's what I want to know, because this is on the record, man.
Yeah, one share of Ilis.
All right, deal. So $1.
There you go. Well, $1.50 by then.
Whoa, woo. Okay.
But no, hey, I wanted to give a shout out to Rob, for all the great work, and to Tom and Gene. That was great.
Yeah.
Gene usually brings the fire. This time they brought the heat, the pressure, the decarboxylation, machine and everything else. It was like the mad scientist lab. I thought I was watching Weird Science for a minute. It was great.
It was awesome. It was absolutely awesome. And that's what you want from a company that you're investing in, to literally get down and dirty into the facility. And it was pretty cool to see that happening. Not gonna lie, like that was pretty awesome. So that's what we're going to continue to bring here at the BFC. So, Jordan, thanks for joining me and sharing me your thoughts. Congratulations on reaching 10 million, my friend. And there is a great road ahead for us. Now, get this guy out of here. Get him out. No more. We're done. We're done tonight. We went 2.5 hours last week. I think we all hit the hay really quick. That's all I got. I'm out of here. Remember, there is more that binds us than breaks us. You guys have a wonderful evening. Peace out.